Most Honorable Andrew P. Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica, and his delegation was hosted in Hartford by Hartford HealthCare at the downtown location. Included in the Jamaican delegation was the Honorable Senator Kamina Johnson-Smith, Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, and the Consul General from New York, Alcian Wilson. The visit was aimed at strengthening ties between Jamaica and Hartford HealthCare and further partnering in a relationship that began during the COVID-19 pandemic. An MOU has been signed between the government of Jamaica and Hartford HealthCare. The objectives of the MOU is to assist in improving the health of patients that are served in health facilities in Jamaica, help to increase the number of elective surgeries undertaken in the public health facilities in Jamaica, help to increase the availability of medical and nursing professionals to assist with conducting elective surgeries, to decrease the current surgical backlog, and facilitate academic and professional exchanges between the parties to enable skill and knowledge transfer. This is very important in understanding the aspect of the skill and knowledge transfer piece, among other aspects of this relationship. Hartford HealthCare is a company that drives its balanced scorecard by utilizing a STEM-based discipline. We can call it an accelerated STEM-based discipline called Lean Six Sigma. That is the hallmark of Hartford HealthCare's drive to create a business model that enables Hartford HealthCare to lead the hospital administration systems in the state of Connecticut. Jamaica and the Jamaican universities should become very familiar with this term, Lean Six Sigma. It is the model that drives Hartford HealthCare. It is the model of business excellence that is applied in the business world, and particularly in healthcare and healthcare management systems. Efforts have been made to present the Lean Six Sigma discipline in Jamaica as an accelerated STEM training program. And that is exactly what it is. It is a training program geared towards developing a workforce regardless of their educational background and whether they have STEM training or not. This discipline enables individuals from all backgrounds to participate in cutting-edge technology, enabling them to develop skills in a workforce that is necessary for the Jamaican economy to progress and to develop its workforce, not only in healthcare, but also in all sectors of business and industry. Enjoy this broadcast. It was historical for the Prime Minister of Jamaica to come, along with the Foreign Minister, to Hartford, Connecticut. I'm going to argue the point that Hartford, Connecticut is the third largest population of Jamaicans in the United States, and it's not the fifth. So I'm going to oppose what the governor suggested, that we are the fifth largest population, and we'll provide some data on that topic at another time. But we'll pick up this broadcast with Keith Grant, who is the Hartford HealthCare Vice President of Community Relations. Keith is a Jamaican, and he has been a significant part of the effort to establish the MOU between Hartford HealthCare and Jamaica. Enjoyed this broadcast. It was historical. The event was held on Monday, August 21st, here in Hartford. And in attendance was a select group of people who, by the way, were isolated from the mainstream. And so enjoy the broadcast.
What you think is right. Do what you think is best. Do what you think is best for our community, our colleagues, and our patients. And from that advice came a question from Alcion, our Consul General, as to how can we best support Jamaica, Jamaican health system, the Jamaican citizens, as they as well as the rest of the world is battling COVID-19. And again, conversation ensued from Hartford HealthCare and our leadership as to what do we do, how do we position ourselves to be helpful. And as I tell you how we respond to this, I want to welcome on stage a leader who's been pivotal in this process. And I'm sure you would agree, of his 19 years of service at Hartford HealthCare at home, the last 3 years must have been the most challenging. But from that, we coined a term, which is better than normal. How do we become better than normal? How do we collaborate much better than we've done before? How do we innovate much better than we've done before? And from those concepts came this partnership where we celebrate today. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome on stage Jeffrey Flax.
Thank you, Keith. It is such an honor to welcome the Prime Minister, Andrew Holness. Sir, we are so grateful for you coming to Connecticut to be here at Hartford and be here at Hartford HealthCare. Thank you, sir. To have our Consul General, we call Alcion Wilson CG, but to have Alcion Wilson has been here at least 7 times, and working with Keith Grant, the Consul General, have done an amazing job of creating this extraordinary and durable partnership together. So we are enormously grateful, Alcion, for you being here with us today. Thank you so much. We also have the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, who's the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Foreign Trade Senator, and we are so grateful for you coming to Hartford today. We have our Lieutenant Governor, who's no stranger to Hartford HealthCare, working hand in glove with us all the time, Susan Beisowitz. And our Mayor, who was truly our partner throughout COVID-19, as Keith was describing, Luke Bronin. We're grateful for so many distinguished guests being with us today. You know, when we think about this partnership, this relationship with Jamaica, this is something that's really important to us. We're blessed in Connecticut to have amongst the largest Jamaican populations outside of Jamaica in the world. And we have so many leading citizens here in Connecticut who are Jamaican Americans. So having this event here and the opportunity to build a partnership that is of such mutual benefit to both Jamaica and to Connecticut is something that's really important to us. But we also have so many members of our team at Hartford HealthCare, our nurses, our doctors, clinicians, and various colleagues who work across all of Hartford HealthCare who have such pride in their Jamaican descent, and it's wonderful to celebrate this partnership and what this relationship means to us. You know, this is about our community and our backyard. So this relationship, in many ways, it was born out of COVID-19. It started with those phone calls between the Consul General and Keith Grant, and the notion that, you know, across the world there was such need. But we here at Hartford HealthCare are blessed with so many endowments, so many resources, so many extraordinarily talented and capable people that we felt this was an opportunity for us to do something that was the right thing to do and to do more. So it began with taking the Hartford HealthCare COVID playbook and bringing it to Jamaica and helping the teams of healthcare professionals across Jamaica train and respond to the crisis as it became very real on island. And from that it grew to recognizing the needs for personal protective equipment across the globe had become such a challenge. And we at that moment in time donated and transplanted $800,000 of personal protective equipment that, again, the CG helped facilitate from bringing from Hartford HealthCare to Jamaica. And we started to begin critical equipment that was so important in those days during COVID. And we brought a series of O2 concentrators that are still used today to support the critical care capabilities in Jamaica. So this relationship became very real and very significant. But it became much more as relationships were developed. And we started doing virtual town halls and shared learnings. Because take yourself back to what it was like in those early moments in 2020 when we didn't know what we didn't know. And the science was evolving. And there was decisions being made around testing and then later around vaccination. And our teams from Hartford HealthCare and the teams in Jamaica began working collaboratively with shared learnings to ensure that we could protect the health and safety as many people as possible, both here and in Jamaica. Over time, we recognized that this relationship, this partnership was more. And it wasn't strictly about that moment, but it was about what it could be. And that's when we moved to formalizing an MOU. And the Minister of Health came here to Hartford, and we were amongst the first people in the world to sign a memorandum of understanding with the country of Jamaica so that we together could build a vision around supporting each other's needs around healthcare. And from that, we often talk within Hartford HealthCare, we never talk about statistics, we talk about people. When we talk about people, right, this became very real because we started taking people in Jamaica who needed higher levels of care, flying them here to Hartford, and our surgeons, our enormously gifted surgeons, were providing critical care capabilities here, and then we could safely transfer people back to Jamaica and have that level of coordinated care between our teams here and there. But what became most real? Our tradition at Hartford HealthCare is we talk about people and we talk about patient stories. And I want to mention a 5-year-old, Jermaine Taylor. And Jermaine Taylor lives in Jamaica. He's 5 years old and was determined that he needed an urgent pacemaker. And this young boy, Jermaine, had probably less than 10 days to live without intervention. And we were contacted by our partners, by the Counselor General, who called our team here in Hartford and they said, what can you do? And when our team started working together collaboratively, there was a very specific and very special piece of medical technology that was needed to save this boy's life. And we went at Hartford HealthCare to Medtronics, who's the worldwide leader in this technological capability. And with our advocacy, our support, and our partnership in Jamaica, within 4 days, that pacemaker was transferred to Jamaica, and it was administered, and Jermaine survived and did well. And that's the nature of what this partnership means. It has saved lives. It has made an unbelievable difference for so many different people. Our specialists here, we have over 3,000 specialists who work within Hartford HealthCare. They're effectively on call today because we have the capacity at a moment's notice to do virtual connections through telehealth and digital health platforms. And we bring our specialists to Jamaica in a moment. Our teams have donated equipment from within Hartford HealthCare to support the Kingston Public Hospital. And more recently, we donated equipment to expand the renovated Chapelton Community Hospital, which is a newly renovated hospital in Jamaica. So we've done a lot. But what I want to close with is what's to come and what could be. So we're now partnering with the University of West Indies, and I'd be remiss if I didn't recognize you. There's so many amazing members of our team who are here today who are of Jamaican descent. But our pioneer in many ways is Dr. Lenworth Jacobs. Dr. Lenworth Jacobs. Lenworth is a global icon in medicine across the world. He's a graduate of the University of West Indies. His father was a very enormously respected Jamaican surgeon. But Lenworth also has been the recipient of an honorary degree in the West Indies. And this partnership with the University of West Indies, which began in many ways with the Jacobs family, today is about, we're blessed with amongst the largest centers for education, simulation, innovation in the country, in the United States, here in Hartford. And we're now working to take that capability and to build it in Jamaica and to create a digital pipeline so that surgeons are going to be able to be in Jamaica and be real time in our operating room, digitally connected, voice connectivity, and learning in observing and watching the work that's being done here in Connecticut, which is amongst the best in the world, watching it live, that we can have shared lectureships, shared training, shared simulation occurring all the time between our two countries. So we've now hosted 2 delegations who've been here on 2 different occasions from the University of West Indies, studying what is a worldwide best practice, our Center for Education Simulation. And Steve Donahue is here with us today, who heads up our center. And Steve is going to be going and leading a team from Hartford HealthCare to help plan and build the next center, which will be built in Jamaica at the University of West Indies. So Steve, thank you. We're so grateful. Our vision is to create classrooms that are connected but thousands of miles apart. You know, during COVID, we said so many times, our ambition in Hartford HealthCare is not to go back to normal, right? In every aspect of our lives, we kept saying people want to go back to normal, but in healthcare, we have to be better than normal. This relationship is how we get better than normal. You know, we believe, Prime Minister, so strongly in the motto, out of many, one people, and that's what this is, out of many, one people. Our commitment to Jamaica, our commitment to furthering this partnership that was established within that memorandum of understanding, our commitment is absolute. So we are so thankful for the support. We are so grateful for this relationship, and I know we're going to help so many people. Thank you so much. I now have the great honor of introducing the Honorable Kamina Johnson-Smith, again, who is the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Foreign Trade Senator.
Let me start by thanking our hosts, Mr. Flax and the Hartford team, for welcoming us so warmly and for the really lovely arrangements that have been made for us to be here today. I would like also, sorry, I'm just having a little, because technology is what it is. Lovely. I would also just like to take the opportunity to introduce to you other members of the Jamaican delegation that are here with us. Today we have CG, who I call CG as well, CG Wilson, who is indisputably the best Consul General that Jamaica has employed across the world. The former head of our Foreign Service, Ambassador Marcia Gilbert Roberts, who's also former ambassador to several high-level jurisdictions across the world, including Brussels. And we welcome her here today. She was a part of the original discussions with Hartford Health. We could give a round of applause. Our Community Relations Officer, Christopher Benjamin, who some of you may know or have come across with CG, and the Director of Communications from the Office of the Prime Minister, Ms. Kimberly MacLeod. I greet you, Lieutenant Governor. It's such a pleasure and an honor to meet you, and I hope we'll have the opportunity to speak on other occasions. Mayor Bronin, thank you also for being here to lend also your office to this important occasion. And I will, in short order, also introduce the head of our delegation, the Most Honorable Andrew Michael Holness, Prime Minister of Jamaica. Again, as Foreign Minister for Jamaica, I am absolutely delighted to be here with you today, to be in that city that has the largest Jamaican population. I keep hearing concentrated in the world. I need some data on that. I hear you have a good research platform, and so I will await that data. But for the moment, I'll take it anecdotally and say, based on a random selection of this room, that it seems like it might be accurate. And what a pleasure that makes it so good to be here with you. Diaspora engagement is part of our foreign policy. It's one of the pillars of our foreign policy. And therefore, it is very important for us to see, to feel, to connect, and to also share with you some of the developmental opportunities that are taking place and some of the partnerships in which we're engaging, which inure to the benefit not only of your communities, but to the communities that you may have left behind, or in which you still have families and continue to feel connected with. diaspora engagement has become a part of a national policy, which has as within its pillars the mutual advancement of our communities here across the world and leveraging our communities for Jamaica's national development as well. So it's about mutual reinforcement and support. And I think the partnership that we have here with Hartford is an absolute, it's emblematic of the partnership. When CG first mentioned the two words, Keith Grant, to me during COVID, and I want to thank Mr. Flax for reminding us about that time and how uncertain a time it was. I had no idea that the partnership would grow this much, but it has, and it is something to absolutely be celebrated. The power of our creativity with good business minds, hard work, discipline, and commitment. What that does, not only within communities, but within governments and within partnerships, can deliver phenomenally. And I think it is doing so now through this Hartford-Jamaica connection. So I really want to express personal thanks, because the issue with Jermaine started with me calling CG to say, CG, what are we going to do? This mother does not have the first inkling as to how she's going to buy this pacemaker. And she said, let me call Keith. And Keith said, let me speak to Jeff. And you've heard the results of the story. And this has actually occurred in more than one situation where lives, most vulnerable lives, have been impacted on a daily lived experience level. So I really want to express appreciation not only to Hartford, but to Keith himself for ensuring, as an interlocutor and a focal point, he has kept people at the heart of our engagement. Again, because I'm in charge of diaspora, I think we can also celebrate him in terms of his achievements, his service to the military, and the critical part he has played here as well. I want to just underscore the importance of cooperation in health to us. Many of you would have heard about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, Agenda 2030. All the Jamaicans in here will be particularly proud to know that before the UN had Agenda 2030, we had Vision 2030. And our Vision 2030 is 97% aligned with Agenda 2030. Ours was 2009. So we were 6 years ahead of it, and we continue to work at it along with the rest of the world. One of our 4 goals is a healthy population, quite simply, a healthy population. So cooperation in this regard is really fundamental to us being able to achieve our developmental goals. I won't speak about the details of them, and I know PM has matters that he would want to share with you as members of the Jamaican community. But I want to signal to you that we are here to signal, in turn, the importance of this relationship to us as a government and as a people, and the importance of your engagement with us and our engagement with you as Jamaican friends and family. So, yes. We want to celebrate that this morning. Again, I just thank everyone, and I very briefly introduce the Prime Minister. I want to remind, for those who haven't checked Google recently, he's the 9th Prime Minister of Jamaica and the first born after independence. He is a true, not only champion for development, but he is a doer, he is a builder. And much has changed, perhaps, since when you left Jamaica, or when, if you're a friend of Jamaica, when you first encountered Jamaica in a very real way. He epitomizes patriotism and nation building, and has been working tirelessly to pull together all relevant stakeholders, private sector, labor, church, young people, women, pulling together all the different groups to ensure that we have inclusive and sustainable development. Friends of Jamaica and our Jamaican communities overseas are a critical part of these partnerships. And it's in this context, not only that we're here, but as we seek to work to implement pragmatic and sustainable solutions to ensure we have the inclusive development that we all need. I want to ask you if you could join me in a warm round of applause to welcome Prime Minister Holness, who will now take the floor. Prime Minister.
Thank you, Minister, Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Mayor, State Representative. And let me say a special acknowledgement to Jeffrey and Keith and the entire Hartford HealthCare team that has been such wonderful friends of Jamaica. The openness and the embrace that we feel and we have received, it is heartwarming. And on behalf of the people of Jamaica and the diaspora here, I want to say thank you. In today's world of shared challenges, the approach to solutions have to be partnerships. And this is an example of how partnerships work in a mutually beneficial way. Meaningful partnerships. Partnerships where the exchange will improve the quality of life for both those who are giving and those who are receiving. And it will be giving and receiving on both sides. And that makes the partnership real and meaningful. In Jamaica, we have several challenges with our healthcare system as a developing country. But nonetheless, we still have a very robust healthcare system which relies primarily on primary care, preventative care. We're now making great strides in investing in our health infrastructure. We are repairing and refurbishing 2 of our most important hospitals. We're building new hospitals, and we are equipping our hospitals. This after decades of very limited investment in healthcare. So within this decade, Jamaica's healthcare capacity will increase significantly. However, Jamaica has always had very strong and robust training of health professionals. And Dr. Jacobs would be an example of the alumni coming from our training facilities in Jamaica, particularly the University of the West Indies. And I am told that there are many doctors and nurses and health professionals on staff here at the Hartford HealthCare Corporation, and that they play a significant role. Now, that capacity to train can be expanded even further. And the memorandum of understanding between the University of the West Indies Ministry of Health and Hartford HealthCare will create the possibility of sharing resources for training, utilizing technology. So, whilst we would want the staff of Hartford HealthCare to travel to Jamaica, and whilst they're there, go to our tourist resorts. But if you can't do that, then we could do it online through your training simulation center, which will expand the options and opportunity for training. Jamaica needs this to expand its professional cadre of medical professionals to deal with a backlog of elective surgeries that exists. So we are interested in this to increase very quickly the competence and training of our health professionals so that real backlog that exists. So that's the meaningful example of what this partnership can do. But it is also about understanding the epidemiology, understanding the health factors of various populations to inform public health strategy and medical responses. So the partnership will allow significant data sharing and data gathering. And that brings me, of course, to the fact that I'm told we have 250,000 almost, I suspect it is more, but 250,000 Jamaicans living in Connecticut, many of them concentrated in Hartford. So it would be good to understand the health profile of the population here and the health profile of the population in Jamaica. We could tell what the data would reveal and how that could drive healthcare strategy and public health responses. So that's another dimension of the partnership which will yield benefits for both Jamaica and Connecticut. The partnership will also be beneficial in ensuring that there is a continued stream of human resources available, both for the Jamaican healthcare system and for the American healthcare system. When we train our doctors and our nurses, there is a very high probability that they're going to end up working elsewhere. The strategy for Jamaica could never be to stop doctors from migrating or to stop our nurses from migrating. We're a free, open society. People have the choice to make their decisions as to where they will live, work, and do business. The solution, therefore, is to develop partnerships like these that recognize that there is a mutual interest in increasing training capacity so that we have an abundance of health professionals. And we expect that under a project developed by our Minister of Health, Project Code Care, that there will be increased capacity for training and increased possibilities of sharing of resources. That if you have downtime for your nurses, they could come to Jamaica, and when other nurses have downtime, they could come here. So there's a sharing proposal that is being considered. The possibilities for developing strategies for public health response and medical response and to develop knowledge under this MOU is, in my mind, limitless. And it is limitless because both parties to the MOU are committed to making it work. So, I again want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of grateful people of Jamaica and the Jamaican diaspora to the Hartford healthcare system for embracing this partnership and supporting Jamaica. Thank you. I'm here primarily to participate, I'm here in the United States, that is, primarily to participate in Jamaica's celebration of our independence at events put on by the Jamaican diaspora. Our Consul General, Alison Wilson, being the main organizer of the events, and they've gone very well. I forget that I'm not in Jamaica. The number of Jamaicans that have come together to proudly display their colors and to speak the Jamaican language and to be Jamaican. It is a time of great pride for us as we reflect on our independence as a sovereign nation. We reflect on all that we have achieved as a country, as a people, and we also use this time to redouble our commitments and our efforts to do better, to fulfill our true vision, our true destiny of being the greatest little island But during the pandemic, there was also a significant economic fallout for Jamaica. Our foreign exchange earnings from tourism overnight disappeared because people just couldn't travel. So the economy lost a major plank. But who stepped up to the plate? The Jamaican diaspora stepped up to the plate and supported family members, institutions, and businesses back home. And the economic fallout from the pandemic was ameliorated by your action. And so I use this as an example to show how important you are to Jamaica's prospects for development. And in the same way, we ask you to focus on Jamaica as a focal point for investment. Jamaica is growing. We have recovered from the pandemic spectacularly. In fact, we had a very swift recovery. And I like the term, recover better, or better than normal. And that is exactly the description of Jamaica's recovery. We call it the tick. And you know the tick. So you fall off very sharp, but then you recover sharper, but better. And so Jamaica's recovery is a tick. We have recovered better than normal. And an important parameter of that recovery is that Jamaica has experienced, just reported our job numbers, shows that we have the lowest unemployment ever in our history, and 4.5% unemployment. This is coming from years of being 10% as high as 13% unemployment. And so there are many other good things happening in Jamaica, including the rapid expansion of our physical infrastructure. Still many challenges. Challenges there are, as Bob Marley would say, the dirty tough. The dirty tough. Translated, the ground is hard, it's dry. And the description of our flag, hardships there are, but the land is green. The green of our flag, the greenery of our natural landscape. And the sun is shining. So it's always hope. And that is the Jamaican spirit. The dirty tough, but rain or fall. This partnership, it's one very tangible ray, signal of hope. So again, I say thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Prime Minister. So at this point, I'm going to welcome on the podium Lieutenant Governor Susan Weiswitz.
Well, good morning, everyone. It is a great honor for me to be here on behalf of Governor Lamont, who is on a well-deserved vacation, to welcome Jamaican Prime Minister Andrew Holness and the members of his very distinguished delegation to our beautiful state of Connecticut, and Madam Consul General, Madam Foreign Minister. We hope that America takes a lot from your example of having strong, powerful women in charge. And with that, it is a great honor to just highlight the special relationship that our state of Connecticut and Jamaica has had for many years. Connecticut is home to the 5th largest population of Jamaican ancestry in the United States. We have almost 38,000 Jamaican-born people living in our state, and about 56,000 in Connecticut who say they have Jamaican ancestry. But to your 250,000, I'm sure the diaspora is much larger, because I don't want our data to be different. But the point also is that the Jamaican community in the Hartford area and in our capital city is very strong and very vibrant. And Mr. Prime Minister, in this room, the people who are here are leaders in healthcare, in business, in the nonprofit world, and in our government. And I do want to take the opportunity to brag a little bit on our government leaders, because 3 of our state representatives, State Representative Kadeem Roberts, who is here representing that delegation, is one of 3 Jamaican Americans. State Representative Josh Hall and State Representative Bobby Dixon. Also, we have Madam Council Member Shirley Surgeon from Hartford, and Council Members Suzette, Lisa Brown, and if I missed anybody, because there's so many leaders in this room, please introduce yourself to the Prime Minister when we are done. But that's why we're so excited, all of us, to be here to celebrate your partnership with Hartford HealthCare. And just as you were saying how critical Hartford HealthCare was to Jamaica during the pandemic, I will tell you on behalf of Governor Lamont and myself how critical Jeff Flax and his whole team at Hartford HealthCare was to Connecticut, to getting us through the terrible pandemic and helping us to come back stronger and better. He was literally a phone call away. The governor and I would call and he'd pick up within 2 seconds. This team has been absolutely incredible. So we're happy to be here to celebrate this memorandum of understanding that's going to hopefully make healthcare better, not just in Jamaica, but for us too here in Connecticut. And we look forward to partnering with Jamaica. We have many business leaders here and people who have worked on making sure we have frequent flights from Hartford to Jamaica. And we want to make sure that we continue that great relationship, and we look forward to expanding business opportunities between our state and your country. So thank you so very much for visiting, and we look forward to celebrating this continued great partnership.
Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. Mayor Bronin, great institutions rely on great leadership at all aspects of government. And throughout the pandemic, and even beyond, the partnership that we've had, the conversations that we've had, that initial conversation that you and I had, addressing how we're going to educate our students. That was the first conversation. And we continue to talk about next set of initiatives. We just had a really challenging conversation about the next set of initiatives that we'll partner on, Hartford HealthCare and the City of Hartford, through your leadership. We appreciate, as always, Mayor Brown.
Thank you so much, Keith. Thank you for those kind words and for your incredible leadership and partnership. Thank you, Jeff, for your vision and your tenacity, and for the team that you've built. Madam Foreign Minister, it's an honor to have you here at the delegation. And, the most honorable Prime Minister, what a joy it is to welcome you to Hartford. We are privileged and honored to have you here today. We often say that Hartford may get cold in the winter, but this is a Caribbean city. If you had come 2 weekends ago, you would have joined us over at the riverfront for a Taste of the Caribbean and Jerk Fest. You could have enjoyed a week of celebration, and then last Saturday enjoyed our West Indian Independence Day celebration in Bushnell Park. And so we consider today just an extension of our annual celebration of our strong and proud West Indian and Jamaican community. The partnership between Hartford HealthCare and Jamaica, I think, is a powerful symbol of the relationship that already exists, but it also deepens that relationship. And so, as mayor of this city that is so proud of the Jamaican roots of so many members of our community, we're so thankful, Jeff, to you and your team, and Mr. Prime Minister, to you and your team for building that partnership, for recognizing the possibility of having healthcare professionals, both in Jamaica and here, exchange information, exchange knowledge, build relationships. We hope that that adds to the depth of this long-standing relationship between our city, our state, and Jamaica. We want to see that relationship grow in every way, in commerce, in trade, in culture, and healthcare. And if you look around this room, there are so many people who have dedicated themselves to that effort of deepening ties and maintaining ties. You have many members of our community who have helped to lead the West Indian Social Club. We have the current chairwoman of the West Indian Social Club here, Ms. Beverly Red. You have so many business leaders, helpful leaders. As Lieutenant Governor mentioned, but I want to acknowledge as well, our Councilwoman Shirley Surgeon, who is a tremendously powerful advocate for the Jamaican community and the West Indian community here in Hartford. I see our State Senator Fanfara and Senator Doug McCrory, and whatever the other numbers show, I feel pretty confident saying that Senator McCrory probably represents more Jamaicans than any other senator in the state senate in the country. I won't talk for long other than to say, Mr. Prime Minister, how deeply honored we are by your visit. It was moving to hear you talk about the spirit of Jamaica, and I think that the city of Hartford and Jamaica share that spirit, not by accident, because this city is shaped so much by the Jamaican diaspora. But our motto here, Mr. Prime Minister, is after the clouds, the sun, a fitting complement to the spirit that you spoke of. And we look forward to continuing our recovery together and in deepening our partnership as we do it. Thank you both again.
Thank you, Mayor Bronin. We would like to present a gift that symbolizes this partnership, the growth of the partnership, the continued success of this partnership. So this time I'd like to invite back on stage Lieutenant Governor, Mayor Dr. Lynn Jacobs, Dalian Hennings, Dr. Trudy Olafin-Boba, Dr. Camille Lawrence, and the Jamaican delegation.
So this is a ceremonial gift that we're going to present to the Prime Minister. And this gift intertwines the Jamaican flag with our Hartford HealthCare flag. And this is a special recognition. This says, "Count us among the many." And it's in grateful recognition of the Jamaican delegation visit, celebrating our continued partnership for the health and well-being of the people of Jamaica, given with great gratitude, Hartford, Connecticut, on the 21st day of August, 2023. So this is an enormous honor for us today. We hope this places into a prominent place in Jamaica that always symbolizes the strength of this relationship and the enduring nature of our partnership. Thank you so much.
We're going to have everyone take a step down so we can display the slide that's you.
so much.